Hey guys, I'm Rachel Cruz.
And I'm George Camel.
And this is Smart Money Happy Hour. Cheers, George.
Cheers.
Delicious.
The bomb America needs right now.
So
That's
good.
what this is.
So this is the podcast where two friends who happen to be money experts talk about what you're talking about. Everything from pop culture, current events, and money. And my co-host, George Camel. Not only did you have a new baby, but you have a new book coming out.
That's right.
Can I hold her?
You can hold her. This is technically a fake copy, but it's the
my
real
gosh.
cover. It's the real cover.
Breaking Free from Broke, you guys. George's first book. It's on pre-sale right now. And listen, this podcast is great because I feel like we have a lot of people that are like, okay, I think I want to like kind of dive into money. I don't know. I want to have fun and learn about money. This is your book, people. This is your book.
That's so kind.
Are you excited, George?
Very. Like all the stuff we talk about on this podcast, the humor, the pop culture references, I tried to weave in to this book.
And you did.
And so the first 2/3 uncovers all the lies the financial system, the toxic money culture tries to tell us that we've believed. And the last third helps you break free from that with beautiful truths that have helped us accomplish all of our financial goals.
Yeah, that's
How
right.
I went from broke to millionaire. It's all in this book, and I'm so pumped. It comes out in January, but it's on pre-sale now with a bunch of goodies. Comes with audiobook, ebook, 3 months of every dollar premium.
Oh, yeah.
So much more.
Do the pre-sale, you guys, because you get free stuff, and it's
For
amazing.
$20, and we'll send you the book as well.
George, congrats.
Thank you.
I'm so excited for you. I can't wait for you to read it.
And look how little I am on the cover.
It's just
Don't
so
you think?
little, George.
It's like,
Hi,
honey, I
George.
shrunk the George on here. But I love it. The team did a great job, and I can't wait to get this in your hands.
Oh, so great, George. I'm so
Ramsey
excited for
Where
you.
do people go? RamseySolutions.com?
Or GeorgeCamel.com.
GeorgeCamel.com with a K.
Do the pre-order again because you get free stuff. Might as well do it, right?
Thank you.
It's so great. Okay, so today we're talking about one of our favorite money topics in light of, kind of where we're at. And there's some new data out, which is fascinating.
You want to know what we're talking about? Marriage. Weren't expecting that, did you? That's from a movie I've
I was
never
trying
seen.
to set you up well to
No.
intro the topic, and that's
No.
how we do it.
I was going for the marriage
Okay.
is what brings us together.
And that's Mighty
No, Princess.
Princess
Bride.
Bride. I knew it.
Can I be honest? I get Princess Diaries and Princess Bride mixed up all
Wow,
the
two
time.
totally different movies.
But are they? No, people get angry when you tell someone I've never seen The Princess Bride, they immediately hate you.
Yes. Yeah. It's a classic.
I'll watch it. But at this point, it's a badge of honor that I haven't seen it.
Okay. And we're going to be sipping on what? Well, we're talking about marriage.
This is an El Torado. Not El Dorado, El Torado. And it's pretty good. I've had worse on this show. So we're going to give you the rating, reveal the cost per glass at the end of the episode, and give you the recipe if you want to dare make this on your own at home.
Yeah. It does have a kick to it, which I think is great. I think it's great.
It's not spicy, but it's got some punch. Some pizzazz.
A kick, a punch. I don't know what
Some
body
panache.
part does the violent act, but
I don't know. Kick feels
it's got a-
spicy. Punch feels punchy.
Okay.
That's my take. This episode is already not great. Well, hey, we've heard it before. We'll say it again to make sure we're on the same page, Rachel. Americans are getting married later in life, if at all. That's the
know.
headline.
It gets later and later. I feel like people were like 18 back in the 20s or something, right?
We've got the stats. You ready for this?
Yes,
In
let's do it.
2022, the average age of a first-time groom was 30 years old. Back in 1947, back in your day, Rachel, was 23. 23 back in the day. So we've
it.
increased 7 years now for the average wedding age.
Is that not wild? And a recent survey asked Millennials and Gen Zers why they're waiting to get married. And 73%, are you ready for this? 73%, 7 out of 10 of them, said that they think it's too expensive to get married in the current economy.
That's confusing. Are they talking about the wedding or are they talking about being married? Because
I don't know.
Those
I
are two
feel
different
like
things.
the wedding itself is
So,
what
like,
they're
there's a lot
talking
of
about, because when you
expenses.
get married, if you didn't have that's not like the actual living a married life is not expensive because you're actually bringing two incomes together.
generally you have dual income, so
Yeah.
life gets easier. But okay.
Anyways, but according to research by the Knot, the average U.S. wedding, including ceremony and reception, cost $30,000 last year,
I
and
believe
it
that.
easily can be $50,000 in cities like New York and San Francisco and
Or
stuff.
like that one guy who called the Ramsey show when I was on solo, and he was going to spend $500,000. And it was an Indian wedding, which is like a week-long thing.
That's a big deal.
And I was trying to talk him off the ledge because he was going to save up for this himself, and he was broke.
Oh, wow.
So it can
Starting
get out of
from
hand.
Ground zero to
So yeah,
$500,000.
if that's the budget, I understand why people are like, I'm not sure I'm ready to get married.
Yeah. Okay, so is this a bad time in the economy to be spending $30,000 on a wedding?
I don't buy that. Now, is it tough times out there for a lot of people?
Sure.
Yes, but being like, well, it's a tough time in the economy I get it to like buy a house, but you don't have to go spend $30,000 on a wedding. It's not about
that's the thing. And I know it
economic
probably is
climate.
frustrating to be like, oh man, how much more, I don't know, the rental facilities is what I was going to say.
Wow.
That's not the right word. The rental spaces.
The venues?
Thank you.
Oh.
The venues are probably way more expensive. Food costs, I mean, I think everything has gone up.
With inflation.
So I get that
Yep.
that's frustrating. Like, man, our wedding is going to cost more, or we're going to have less of a wedding than we would have had to have 4 years ago. But also, it's just the wedding. How long have you guys been married?
5 years coming up.
Okay.
Yeah.
You feel longer, George.
Well, thank you.
I feel like old
We're an
age
old married
of-
couple. The way we bicker, but I've known her for a long time now.
Yes.
And
yes,
you
yes,
and
yes,
Winston?
Yes. We'll be 14.
Oh my gosh.
I
Well, you guys
know.
got married when you were babies. You weren't even
So
out of
we
college
were babies.
yet?
We were in the 40s. We were like 1940s.
1947. Me and Winston.
The old early 20s. Yeah, we were
That's
young.
amazing.
We were young.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thank
and you
you.
guys have a great marriage from what I can tell. But I know
Thank you. We-
you
hey,
guys have
we
put
will
a lot of
both
work
say-
in. You put work into
Yes,
this thing.
and it's hard. Marriage is hard. There's ups and downs. There's struggles, all of it. But we have learned, George, you ready for this? Winston, this is a Winston quote. Through suffering, you find so much beauty.
What is he, Aristotle?
I
Where
know.
does he
He's
come
in
up with
this whole
stuff?
new like thing right now. And we need to get them on the podcast, him and Whitney. But
He is
I'm
having
not
a
kidding.
moment.
It really
Winston
it's,
is having a moment right now.
it's
We're
a
here
thing.
for it.
It's just like it's a real thing. So there is definitely hard times in marriage. Everyone goes through them, I would think. But it's the most beautiful relationship. I mean, you have a companion in life, right? That you get to do life with.
Agreed.
So I
It
love
makes life
I love
richer.
him very dearly.
I mean, I love the guy, and I'm not even married to him.
And I love Whitney, and you love Whitney.
There's so much
Oh
love.
my
I
gosh.
love love.
Anyways,
Okay. Here's the bottom line. Weddings don't have to cost $30,000. If that's what's, putting you on the sidelines here, you can just spend what you do have on a wedding. Don't go into debt for it. If you don't have 30 grand to spend, then don't do that. So what do people think is required for a wedding? Let's break this down. And this varies by culture, as I talked about. But for,
Yes.
let's say,
Okay, let's go every
an
other one.
Americanized wedding.
go every other one because this is a long list. You
Okay.
ready? You go first. Go.
Invitations and save the dates.
The dress and the tux,
A venue.
an officiant or preacher,
A photographer for engagement and the wedding.
the videographer,
Catering and food.
a cake,
Flowers.
probably beer and wine,
DJ or band.
decor.
And transportation.
And we're probably missing some, George. Let's be
There's a whole
honest.
bunch
I
of
mean, like
things.
putting on a wedding is an entire spectacle these days, right?
Yeah. It's
It's
gotten
a lot.
insane.
Yep. And the reality is 98% of these are just once.
That's true.
Because to get married, you literally just need a license, right? I think you have to have someone at the courthouse to like legally bind you together by law or something.
Well, the older folks out there are like, back in my day, we didn't. I'm like, yeah, they didn't have video cameras back then, pop. So what do you want me to do? They didn't have donut walls. If you could have a donut wall, you would have chosen
probably
that.
would have done it.
Pop. I don't even call my. That's not even a
Grammy.
name.
Come on, Grammy and Pop.
Okay, if you could have 3 of those things, Rachel, you could go back in time. You have 3 things. What would be the non-negotiables?
Oh gosh.
Looking at this list,
Photographer. I would do that over videographer.
fair, because you can hang the photos on a wall.
Yeah, I think photos because we never watch our. We watched our wedding video. Oh my gosh, years ago.
But it's, like, awkward.
I am like whispering our vows. It's so weird.
Were you nervous?
I don't know, but I don't
You're
even
not a
know. I
quiet-
can't do it.
you're not
I
a
like
quiet
embarrassed
person.
myself. We were watching it. Winston was like, "What was wrong?" And I was like, "I have no idea."
Was
so
Winston
bad.
whispering?
It was so bad. No, it was weird. I
Was
don't like
Winston,
it. I
did
don't
he
like
cry?
my wedding video.
Did he cry?
We did a first look. He cried. Yes, the first look, but we not like. I don't think during the.
During the ceremony, he was
No.
stone cold.
So where did
No
you cry?
emotion. I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I could have, but I held back.
Okay. So I'm gonna go photographer. I'm gonna go DJ or band.
Oh wow.
I'm going for the party, and then probably the beer and wine.
Okay, guys, if you go to Rachel's wedding, there will be no food.
Yeah, no food.
So eat before you come, which is fine.
I'll make.
You're
the
gonna
cake.
feel everything.
I can make a cake.
There will be no officiant. There will be no venue. There's just going to be a photographer, beer and wine.
Well, the that's hard because you have to have the venue to put the dance. Like,
sure.
I would go more party. I would.
That's
like
fair.
The ceremony. I would appreciate it and like take it in. I would go small and then I would do big party.
I'm with you on that.
I think it's so fun.
I'm going to go food, beer and wine, and photographer. The rest I'd figure out.
Is that what I did?
No, you skipped food in lieu of DJ or band.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
In my mind, I'm good with a Spotify playlist versus like a 50-year-old guy who's like, hey, does anyone want to hear the Cupid Shuffle? And I'm like, no, guy.
Why is that my band?
Put
That's
the
not
fedora
my band.
put the fedora down, bro.
My band is fun. That is not my band.
Okay.
Stop putting that band on me.
But you know
That
the
is not
DJ
my
I'm
band.
talking about at
Yes,
wedding. Like
I
he
do.
still wears a fedora thinking like, this will make me relevant.
I
Like, no, my man. Not a look. You want to... All right.
Not a look you want to do.
Yep.
No. Okay.
Okay.
So is there anything on this list that you did not have? Did you have everything on this list?
Okay. Well, you know, we have this epic story. I did a whole video
know.
on my YouTube channel. We'll link it. Can we link it in the show notes? Okay. I cover all the stuff, but we won a free wedding. It was a $28,000 package, which is about the average we've seen.
Unbelievable, yeah.
But then we threw another party afterwards because it had a very limited...
I think I went to that one, George.
You did. It was a great time.
It was a great time.
So because of that, it added up quickly.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, we had all of this.
think
I
we
did
did
video because I love video and had a lot of videographer friends, and so it was fairly cheap
Yeah.
to get them to help out.
You know, it's funny because some people say like, "Oh my gosh, I would have made my wedding smaller." I feel like a lot of people say that,
Oh,
and I'm the opposite.
You're
I'm
like
like,
bigger.
I would have just
more the merrier.
I think I still would have thrown a big reception. Had all
Yeah.
my people there.
But it's a good reminder that when you were having a wedding, you're just throwing a party for everyone
That's
else.
literally what it is. It's just a party.
Don't act like it's for you. Like,
Yeah.
yes, they want to celebrate you,
Yeah, but
but
they're
you're
there to have
planning a
good time.
very expensive party.
That's it. Yep. And people put so much effort into that versus the marriage
Truth.
that it's a lot. They like literally think about that day and that day only for so long. It is such a focal point.
It's weird.
And then it's
Spend
over
hours and days and months.
in like 18 hours it's done.
Well, to be fair,
then you
party
have-
planning is way more fun than working on yourself and your marriage. You know what I mean?
Yes, I know. It's probably so
Let's
true.
go to therapy.
It's probably
Yay.
so true. Dig
That's
up
fair.
all of our childhood wounds.
Well, the wedding budget itself obviously isn't the only financial reason that millennials and Gen Zers are pumping the brakes on marriage. So let's talk through some other common reasons.
Yep. And this particular list was created by a financial advisor at RBC Wealth Management based on things that they were noticing with their clients.
Okay.
But before we jump into those reasons, we want to take a quick break to tell you about a game that we are loving through Op Games. And you guys have heard us talk about Tapple, you know, where you have a category and you're putting down a letter per word and all of it's great. But this other game
From the makers of Tapple.
is so fun, and it's
It
called
is.
Telestrations.
So think of the old school game of telephone, but with sketches, and it's hilarious. And you can play with all kinds of different people, all ages.
All ages.
A huge group, and it's so hilarious. It is one of those gut-busting, doubled-over kind of games.
It's so fun. And what I love about it is it's social. It's not like a crazy, like Tapple's kind of competitive. Like that
yeah.
buzzer's going and you're like, oh my gosh, I gotta. Yeah, Telestrations, it's more like we pass it, we go, like you can
It's a
talk.
very social game.
Yes,
I
have
like that.
fun. You don't have to be an artist to be able to play.
No,
In fact,
it's
if you're
so
not
funny.
good at it, it's even better.
The
which is me.
worse you are at drawing, the better, because it
Yes.
just makes the answers more hilarious.
It's great.
So.
It's a great game. Yep. So make sure to pick up Telestrations at Walmart because it's fantastic. And we promise you're going to have a fantastic time this weekend because it pairs, you know, nicely with this podcast you're listening to.
So grab
at home.
yourself a drink, listen to Smart Money Happy Hour, and then play Telestrations with all your friends.
It'll be so fun. So fun.
That's the new trend.
That's it. All right. So reason number one, George, that people are not getting married is not feeling financially secure as an individual.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so financially secure. I'm guessing that means they don't have their crap together when it comes to money. Maybe they have some debt. They feel like their income isn't quite there, so they're not ready to move on with this big stage of life.
Yep. And I think people would be maybe a little surprised of our advice on that. As we say, like, regardless of where you are financially, if you want to get married or even have a baby, do it. Like, don't put your...
wait till you have some certain income level, or if I can get completely out of debt first.
Yep.
Like, that's all great, but I mean, you guys got married out of college.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm like,
You weren't
continue
established
to
in your
live your
careers.
life and you can still work on your money goals and be married. Like, you can do both at the same time. So, and again, sure, it's probably less stressful if you have no debt and you both go in with great incomes and stuff and get to just fly and be free. But also, it's part of the journey of life. So, like, do it. Now, if someone has a money issue, like if they're deeply in debt and they're continuing to go into debt or something, like,
That's different.
yeah,
If
we can
you-
like talk about that. But overall, I don't feel like you have to be in this like crazy financially secure place. I think if you love somebody, you guys are ready, like go get the marriage certificate and call it a day.
Well, I grew up in Boston, and it was a very different, people don't get married till way later in the Northeast because they're so focused on education and careers. They're working on their third master's degree.
Right.
And then they're like, and then I'll start looking at that. In the South, which is where I went to college, finished there, in Mobile, Alabama, it was like ring by spring or you're dying alone. That was the vibe, okay? I'm not saying that's what was happening, but it was the vibe.
Yes,
it was like you
people
better
get
have found
married.
your person by the time you graduate, which is also a weird amount of pressure too.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
So don't feel like it's too early, it's too late. If you found the one,
Yeah.
if you know, you know. Is that how
know,
you
you
felt
know.
about Winston?
If you know, you know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I really liked him.
Wow. What a resounding review of Winston Cruz. Yeah, I mean, he was a guy.
No, I was friends with his sister first, and he was always the hot older brother. So I was like, we never like hung out with his group of friends. They were like the older, hot, young life guys that like loved
Wow.
Jesus, but they were hot and great. And we were like, oh wow, there's the older guys. And
This
then
is
I
such a
caught
beautiful
one.
story.
And then I caught one.
So was it a hard sales pitch, or was he into it?
No, it took about a year and a half for him to notice.
For him to note it? Why was that?
Because we didn't hang out. We weren't like.
But was he just like aloof? He was like, oh yeah, that Rachel girl, or like.
I don't know, Drew. I don't know. I mean, we
Rachel
had a
Ramsey.
big. We hung out with like a big group of people. So like.
But did he know who you were because of?
Yes,
Dave
he would say that.
Ramsey?
No, not because of Dave. No.
Okay.
He didn't really know who Dave was.
Okay.
No, because of his sister and stuff. Yeah.
Was he financially secure?
Yes. He worked all through college.
I feel like he's the kind of guy who's like, why would I do debt? That's so dumb.
Yes,
like, he
that's
just has
basically
that vibe.
and he was in charge of the rental income of the house. He was like he is who he is today, but a college version. So he was a
Wow.
great one to marry into. All this made sense. Like none of this was like everyone's like, did you have big tension when you and Winston got married to like bring him over to the side of Ramsey? And I'm like, not really, genuinely, because he was like, perfect. I love to save. It's great. Like it like was so
Wow.
up his alley, you know?
We love a fiscal hot guy. What can we say? There
How
it
about
is.
Whitney? When did you meet Whitney?
I met her here at Ramsey.
Duh, of course. When did you see her across the cubicle?
So we were just friends. She was mixologist Michael Reddish's assistant at the time. So I was really
She
good
was
friends with
Michael's
Mike.
assistant?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
So I was best friends with Michael, and it was always like, hey, what about Whitney? And I was like, she would never go for a guy like me.
But she thought immediately, he's the one.
She's the fiscal hot girl. What if she went with a guy like me? And I charmed her.
You did.
On one day, I got one date, and I almost screwed it up.
And then y'all were together ever since. How long did y'all date?
We dated for a year, and then I proposed.
Yes. So great.
So it's a beautiful love story.
Oh
A lot of
my
redemption.
gosh. I love that, George.
Yep.
I love that.
We
So
all
great.
need to marry fiscally hot people. That's the goal in life. We achieved it.
We did it. No. Okay, reason number 2. They're waiting to get married in order to protect their personal assets.
Ooh,
What does that
them
mean?
fighting words. Okay, so,
They want to just keep their own life. Is that why?
well, I guess an example would be the person you marry has significant debt, which kind of hurts your overall financial picture.
Okay, that's kind of okay. Yeah,
Or
yeah.
you're going to receive an inheritance. So in some states, an inheritance is considered marital property. So if you get it while you're married, it legally belongs to both parties.
Wow. Okay.
So apparently some people are like, I'm not looking to share that money.
wow.
Very independent spirits.
Okay. I hear it's very like Gen Z. That's what it feels like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's a spirit of people have seen trauma and abuse in past relationships with their parents maybe splitting, and so it's a very protective, defensive
Yep.
kind of attitude, which I understand, but can also be
It isn't,
harmful.
but I think that's harmful within your marriage, right?
Agreed.
So, with that attitude, I could understand why they're like, I don't want to get married. But also, you're choosing money and assets over having like a lifelong partner to do life with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Which is kind of sad.
It's not just a mathematical equation.
And it's not just about money. I mean, that's the other thing. Life is so much more than all of that. You could have such a richer life with so many things.
One, if you
versus
walk in
just
with a
waiting for-
defensive attitude with your fists up,
Then that's gonna change
with a
the
very closed
relationship,
posture,
for
it's not
sure.
going to lead to a great relationship.
Yep.
So winning in money and marriage requires this kind of we attitude, ours attitude, not this, well, that's your money and this is my money and we're going to keep it all.
Yep.
Now, we have to talk about prenups because this is a big call we get on the Ramsey show.
Yes.
Should I do a prenup?
Yep.
What is the Ramsey take on prenups?
I can tell you my take. I think for majority of people, you don't need one. I think it is kind of weird if there's like, smaller amounts of money or like a car or something that's like, this is in the prenup and I'm going to keep this if we ever, I don't know, like that feels weird to me. But I can see if there's a significant amount of money that a very different level, maybe saying, hey, I don't know, just in case something happens. Or even like I find it's not even just the person you're marrying, but their family. Like there's a level of protection. Like the family knows that their family member is not going to get anything. Does that change? Like, I don't know. Like it just kind of protects that side, I think.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I thought about too is if you're in like a family business and there's a family owned thing and they have stock in the company or whatnot, and then so protecting that to keeping that in the family if there's like something that says that. So I don't know. I will say Winston never signed a prenup. I didn't even like that wasn't even a conversation.
I think it's safe to say Whitney and I don't have one. I came into the marriage with close to nothing. So it's fine. But yeah, if I had like $20 million and she had nothing, or if I made $1 million and she made 30, a prenup may be make sense.
If there's a significant difference, I could understand why that's a conversation.
But it's more about the craziness and family and the drama that could happen with that versus a trust thing.
I know, I think so. Yeah, but it can get weird. There is something still. If you still have a prenup, even with that, it does feel like we're looking at the end in mind before we even start. It could still feel weird.
Agreed.
So I don't know. I'm less of a fan of it, but I can see in very certain situations that might be a reason.
Yeah. Reason number 3 people aren't getting married, Rachel, income inequality between the couple. This is an interesting one. So this kind of is tied to reason 2 of waiting to get married for personal assets.
So the higher earner is usually hesitant.
Oh.
So if you're making, $120 in a huge job and you're going to go marry a teacher making 40, they're feeling like, oh, there's a difference in income.
You're going to drag me down over here. Really cramp my style.
Which makes me sad. Because I do feel like the line of work you choose, teachers being a great example.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. And they're the most amazing people ever. So I'm like, why? And now I get if it's like, oh my gosh, she can't hold a job or he can't hold a job. He changes all the time. He doesn't put an effort. Like, right, that speaks more to the person than what they're
more to their drive
earning.
And their values.
Yeah, which I
could
see that being frustrating in a marriage, right? If, I don't know. So I don't think
I wouldn't let that be a determining factor. Like if Whitney made $30,000 when we got married, I wouldn't be like, oh, okay, well, I'm going to wait then until you make 45 and then come talk to me. Who does that? That's insane.
I know. I agree.
I don't like that one. That one feels kind of toxic because you're also usually young when you get married. You're early on in your career.
Right.
So who's to say you're not going to double, triple, quadruple your income?
Well, and I don't know. I don't know what the percentage is of one income earner households once you get married and have kids and stuff. But there's probably going to be a time where one spouse doesn't earn anything because they're home with the kids.
And then what are you going to do all of a sudden? Well, hey, I didn't sign up for this.
This doesn't feel good. I don't
Income
like
inequality.
This,
this came up the other day in an interview I was doing, and he said, hey, I'm keeping my finances separate. It's her money and my money. I said, what if she wants to stay home one day? And he said, well, I'll give her an allowance.
No.
I was like, you're going to treat her like a teenager who gets an allowance?
No.
That's weird.
Shoot.
How does that make her feel? So to the guys out there or the ladies out there, I don't like this idea of like, well, they'll get an allowance if they're a stay-at-home spouse.
No, you're the parental role in the marriage. And it's weird. Nope. We're all adults here. We're all adults. All right, reason number 4, protecting benefits or support of children.
Interesting.
So if you have children from past relationships, you may be worried about the financial support you currently have in place. So like child or spousal support could be cut off if you get remarried.
That's true. So if you were getting, $2,000 from child support and you get remarried,
okay. So let's talk about this real situation. I don't know. I'm just making something up on the spot to defend this case. Because what if you have like a junior in high school and your ex-husband, makes a lot of money, you pay, and you're using some of that to fund college? I don't know. Like, is there a time that you're like, oh my gosh, for the good of my child, there's something there? You know what I mean? To like help them go to college, part of this.
Yeah, that's tough.
Do you know what I mean? But I guess that would be a different conversation. I don't know. But I'm just wondering like where I could see as a mom, I just get very protective when I hear that kind of stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, because there's probably a lot of moms out there that have good reason, or dads,
yeah,
to protect their kids, hopefully in a good-hearted way, not in a manipulative, I just want to keep the money way, which I'm sure there's a lot of people like that too. But I don't know.
That's an interesting level-headed take. I would understand if someone called in and had that predicament. It would be a hard one to grapple with.
Yeah.
I would still think like if this is who you're going to marry, go ahead and like
love is
marry
love. Yes.
them when it's the right time.
I agree.
And figure out the financial piece later. And if we need to work extra or sell some stuff, make sacrifices, that's fine. But delaying that important relationship because of that would be really hard for me.
I agree. I could see the hesitation though if there was like a interesting situation, right?
Yeah.
So fascinating. So ironically, despite all these fears, the research says that the family structure of marriage is actually a great predictor of wealth building.
I believe that. So here's a quote. Among the college educated, those who are married have more than twice the wealth of those who are divorced or never married.
Oh, man.
And among the less educated, married Americans have about 4 times the wealth of those who are not married. So 2 is wealthier than 1. The math checks out.
Well,
But there's another piece of the puzzle here, which is 2 people working together can do so much more than one person.
Yeah, I can see. Obviously, if you're
It's not
both
just double the
working
income.
and you're doing that, yes. But I also think that we talk to a lot of married people and they're struggling financially because one spouse, the spouse can be a drag as much as a support.
Oh, yeah. If they're not on the same page.
And sometimes we talk to single people and they killed it because I had no one to hold me back. So regardless of if you're married or not, college educated or not, you can still win with one. We hear every story out there of every equation.
That's a good call out to the single people listening and watching out there. I want to say don't feel like, well, man, if I was married, I'd get ahead financially. Don't wait for this person to come into your life to reach your financial goals.
Yeah.
We see people all the time who are incredible, hardworking people who are single, and they're able to get that house, pay off their debt. So I just don't want it to be an excuse as to why you're not going to build wealth.
Yeah, for sure. Yep. And we see it all. We see people do it all the time. So it's great. So awesome. Okay, so clearly the possibility of divorce after you get married is a big concern for a lot of millennials and Gen Zers, and we understand their concern. The stats are scary, y'all. Half of first marriages end in divorce. 60% of second marriages end in divorce. 70% of third marriages end in divorce. And wow, George, there's a lot of divorce in America and a lot of divorce in pop culture right now.
That is true. So just in 2023, here's the ones we've seen, and you can attest to this because you follow pop culture relationships more than I do.
Give me all of the celebrity divorces.
Ariana Grande and Dalton Gomez.
Yeah.
Divorced after 21 months.
Big one.
Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Divorced after 4 years.
Broke my heart. Taylor Swift took her in.
Sofia Vergara.
Oh.
And Joe Manganiello.
Hate it.
After 7 years.
Hate it.
Is it Manganiello? I don't know. Very Italian.
The next one makes me literally want to cry.
Hugh Jackman and Deb Furness.
I can't do it.
27 years, Rachel. 27 years.
They were like my man.
That one's tough. And then Reese Witherspoon and Jim Toth, her second husband, filed for divorce after 11 years of marriage. Sad.
Man, and talk about, I'm sure there's a lot of prenups.
In the celebrity world.
In the celebrity
when you're
world.
Talking that many zeros on the end.
A lot of stuff.
Do you think what's your reason for why celebrities seem to get divorced more than the average American?
Gosh, George, I don't.
There's no right answer.
Yeah, I know, and I don't want to put a stereotype on them, but I think here's the good-hearted. Here's the good-hearted side of me is I think they deal with pressures that we can't understand.
True.
I do wonder if there's attraction that's very quick, maybe. But I think 50% of the public get divorced. You know what I mean?
Also, we just hear about the celebrity ones more, but there's also many celebrities who have been married for a long time that we just don't hear about.
Yes.
So I think part of it is the media loves to put these on magazines, and so we just think in our minds, if you're an actor, actress, musician, you're just going to have a higher divorce rate. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
I'd love to see stats on that.
I would say it is true. I doubt 50% of Hollywood couples stay together forever, though.
Yeah.
Because the general public, 50% get divorced, 50% stay together. I think Hollywood is much higher of a percentage, right? That get divorced.
I don't know.
But David Beckham and Victoria, did you watch their documentary?
No, I haven't seen it. Should I? What is this reaction? What are we watching here?
Love them.
Okay, in a good way. They're doing great.
They are. They're everything.
Are they goals?
Yes, they are.
Do you see yourself as Victoria and Winston
thinks
he
is David Beckham?
Oh, Winston,
he has
you
the
hear
same
that?
dog as David.
Winston thinks.
June has June, our dog.
Yeah.
David Beckham has 3 of those, the working Cocker Spaniels.
Did Winston know this when he got this
David
dog?
Beckham does like David Beckham does some like very like kind of bizarre. He has like some bizarre like quirks about him, and that is my husband.
Does David Beckham have a rock garden like Winston?
No, but he has honey. And Winston was like, I totally would do beehives. Like I would like literally it. You and Whitney need to watch this documentary. It is the best. It's the best. And if you like soccer at all, it's even better.
I was gonna say, well, Whitney likes. Spice Girls.
Because they pair their entire relationship together. So, anyways, Victoria and David, I'm holding out for you. If they get divorced, we may have to have a moment of silence on this podcast.
Wow,
they're my new favorite.
Amazing. Couple. And also, David and Winston, we should get you guys together for a hang. They probably have the same workout routine, same hair care routine. Gosh, must be nice to be a fiscal hot guy. Golly. All right. Well, back to divorce, Rachel. It's not ideal, but it's also not hopeless, especially from a financial perspective, even if you didn't get a prenup. So if this is happening to you or a friend, we all know people who've experienced this. Yep. It's time to get a supportive team in place, both personally and financially.
Yes, I do think when that happens, there's a lot that comes into play. There's obviously a lot of emotion going on. But also, you want to be able to protect yourself. You want to know what's going on. You want to understand all these. There's so many elements of it and so many things.
Well, it's easy to isolate yourself instead of seeking community and help from others and professionals. So this is a huge part of this. So financially, this might look like getting a divorce attorney, a CPA, insurance broker. Divorce is going to require you to adjust your budget, cut back. I mean, it can be financially very tough for people when things get cut in half or worse, or there's custody battles, and it can get really expensive. I mean, Dave likes to say on air, marriage is grand, divorce is $50,000. We've said for years that divorce turns marriage into a business transaction, which is really sad to say out loud. We don't want to make, light of that, but it's true. You have to start going, okay, how is everything going to get split? Where do we all land financially? How do we get out of this as unscathed as possible?
Totally. Yep. And if there's kids in the mix, all of it. I mean, there's just, there's a lot. Okay, so with all that said, George, should single millennials and Gen Zers just never get married?
Yikes.
Are we ending on a hopeless note? No, guys, you can do it. And I do feel like there is a stat out there that's like if you are in a practicing faith, if you make, I don't know, a certain income, like maybe, I don't know, a certain income, if your parents are married, like I think there's these couple of kind of things.
Factors that will increase your chances in a way. Not to say you can't overcome any of those odds.
Right,
but
right.
Like if both your parents are still together and you have a good salary and, you have some education or whatever those pieces are, you've got a fighting chance.
Yep.
And even on that show, Love at First Sight, I mean, some of these folks are still together.
Yes, I know.
And at first sight, they're like, we're married.
Yeah.
But part of that, I wonder if it's because they're like, I'm going to make this work. And then it works because they work to make it work.
I know.
It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy in that way.
Yes, that's true. Because it does. It makes it work. So we are pro-marriage. We are pro-marriage. Gen Zers and millennials.
It's still possible. Let me just say, YouTube people, like people that jump in the YouTube comments are very cynical towards marriage, especially the guys.
Are y'all?
The guys
YouTubers?
are so bitter, Rachel. They're just like, yeah, she's going to take you to the cleaners and women exist to take half of your money. It's a very cynical take on marriage. And so to those people, I say,
I'm so sorry. Are you
get
okay?
help. Whoever hurt you, I'm sorry. But like love is available for you if you just open your heart.
Life is so much more joyful than how you experience it.
Thank you.
Understand yourself. Know yourself.
Know yourself, know your money. A great book. Of course, Rachel would weave in a great pitch for her book. No, but it's true. Don't let these weird factors or past experiences, scar you to the point you just say, I'm never going to trust and love again.
And we're not naive in it, y'all. Like, yes, it's not always fun. It takes work, for
sure. Marriage is risk.
Yeah, but man, geez. Okay.
Yeah.
So in summary, don't let fear drive your decision to get married. George.
Beautifully said.
I think we solved the world's problems in this episode.
I feel good about it.
I think we need a dating app, though, for all the single people.
The Ramsey dating app?
Fiscal hotties?
Fiscal hot guys, where are you at? Listen, if I could create an app where it was only fiscal hot guys, I would be a billionaire. I would be a billionaire.
What are you doing here? Get out of here, George.
I don't know how to make apps. Someone else do it. I don't trust it. But that was fun. Hey, cheers to marriage.
Cheers to marriage. I know.
To Whitney,
To Whitney and Winston.
To Whitney and Winston, our fiscal hot spouses.
Those W's in our life. Okay, so it's almost the end of the episode, George, and we close out every episode with Guilty as Charged. And this is where our producer, Lindsay, gives us a new Guilty as Charged question every week. And if we are guilty, we have to take a sip.
All right. I feel like I'm looking at you because I know that you're going to do one of these weird things.
Oh, I'm just thinking about my impression of you from our Smart Conference episode.
Oh, yeah. And everyone is like, he was spot on. I'm so offended.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
I'm just kidding. I'm not offended. You did a great job.
Thank you.
All right. What common item do most people throw away that you secretly reuse? So think like plastic bags or like, I don't know, weird things.
This may not be weird. Grocery bags. Like the plastic
But
grocery
I think
bags.
a lot of people do that.
Shoot, Lindsay.
I know. I'm so sorry. I do that too. But maybe we're weird. I don't know.
What trash does Rachel keep for fun?
Like you mean like you keep it for like your bathroom?
Yeah.
Trash
I keep
cans
those
or
a lot.
something.
Oh.
You over there. I feel like you
Why
keep
are you looking at me like
I
I'm
feel like
so
because I
guilty?
feel like you
Reuse
for
stuff.
Sure
I would
reuse stuff.
never. I'm gonna go with soap bottles.
What do you use it for?
I get a giant refillable foaming soap thing from
I
like
do that
Amazon.
too.
And I'll refill my soap bottles.
Okay.
So I'm not
Okay.
throwing away soap bottles in my
Okay,
house.
That's good.
Any containers like to go food that's a quality that I know I could wash. So if I get food to go from a
Yeah,
restaurant
like nice plastic ones.
and it comes in like some good containers, I'm saving those 100% and washing those.
I would say like to-go cups. We have a lot of plastic
Love
cups.
a to-go cup. Schlotsky's probably has a great to-go
Hey,
cup.
no, there's this plate. There's paper. I know. Chuck E. Cheese. Plastic cup.
You kept the Chuck E. Cheese cup.
It's all plastic. You rewash. I mean, it's a cup. It's a legitimate cup.
Wow. Anything for you, Lindsay?
So we're guilty.
Yeah.
Not too much. But since I've been making chai, I do feel like I keep glass containers.
Oh.
Like the
yeah.
glass jars, like I'll reuse
That's
those.
true. Okay, I have a
good.
bougie one. I got these little baby creme brulees from Costco.
Creme brulee, okay.
And they come in these little beautiful glass ramekins.
They come in glass ramekins?
Glass ramekins from Costco.
Oh, that when you wash out, it's like a little like jar,
Yeah,
like a
so
little
just
mason jar.
It's like a tiny, it's a
oh.
really narrow, just a little tiny
Wow.
jar almost.
So you keep them all.
Kirkland King.
So I
got
keep them,
some
and if you're
creme
doing like a
brulee.
charcuterie board or something, you can have that with some nuts in it, and you know.
That's smart, George.
Wow.
And it's
I
a
was
great
making fun of
value.
you
So if you're
earlier.
at Costco, check out the creme brulee.
And it tastes good.
Never thought I was.
It's amazing. So what you do is I bought one of those
Torches.
and it comes with sugar. You pour the sugar on top, and then you just torch it on top, and it creates the nice little hard shell. Wow. And everyone thinks you're a hero. They think you're the coolest person in the world.
Well, yeah.
And then you say I got them at Costco.
and then I
everyone's
say,
like, "What?"
I got these at Costco.
And then
And that completes
and
my
then
journey.
Your legendary, your legend lives
Then
on.
I ascend on a Kirkland cloud.
In your Kirkland sweatpants.
That's
Have
it.
you seen the Costco Halloween decorations?
No.
Oh, they're terrifying.
Are they out of hand this year?
Have you not seen? There's like a 10-foot, 12-foot
Oh, skeleton.
like witch.
Oh, I was
Oh,
like,
no,
what are you
no,
doing
no.
with your
Yeah,
head?
it's huge.
I don't subscribe to Costco witchcraftery. I will not stand for it.
Well, if you're in Costco, I don't know how you miss it. It's huge.
I haven't been in a while, Rachel. It's time.
Really?
Yeah.
Take a little gander tonight with a little creme brulee.
I'd love to.
Look at the witch. It is crazy.
That was fun.
Okay, so I don't know. We're tied. Me, maybe?
We're tied.
You think we're tied? Possibly. Yeah. I'm
I
gonna.
beat you.
I'm going.
What's your rating on this El Torado drink, Rachel?
Yo, I'm going 10 out of 10.
No way.
You know what? That's generous.
Oh, shoot. We shouldn't have reacted.
Yeah. All reacted. I'm like, oh my gosh. You know what? I'm going. I do 10 out of 10s, and that means I would order it at a restaurant, and I would order this as a cocktail.
Wow.
I really liked it.
I'm actually a little shocked. It didn't seem like you were a huge fan at first.
I know, and then maybe it's because it just got better the more I drank it.
I'm going to go 7 out of 10.
Okay.
It's almost like every sip I wanted like a punch of lime. Like I wanted it to be a little more like a margarita. And it was just missing that
I could see that.
acid almost,
Yep.
that sour punch.
Yeah.
Here's what's in the El Torado: dry vermouth, reposado tequila, and apple juice. So it's very simple.
Ooh, that's fun.
And I'm guessing
I
it's
need to make
shaken and then
those.
no ice, just poured neat
Yeah.
in a coupe glass.
I need to make this.
The cost breakdown: $3.62 per glass.
So great.
And do you know what reposado tequila is?
Nope.
Versus a blanco?
Oh, it's no.
You know.
I would say George Clooney or Kendall
reposado
Jenner.
is
They both
aged.
do tequila.
Reposado is an aged tequila, slightly aged.
Okay. Is it then? It's kind of yellow.
Yes.
Got
So
you.
Blanco is your clear tequila.
clear.
Reposado is a little darker.
Blanco, I
and
think,
then
is blank,
añejo,
as in white.
You've heard of añejo?
Yeah.
That's an extra aged tequila, so it's even darker.
Okay. Yep.
Anyone correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not
Yeah,
a
but see,
tequila
here's the thing, though. Is
professional.
this one, George, though, looked clear to me. It didn't look like was it?
Well,
It was a little yellow.
It was a little yellow? Okay.
Yeah. So a great drink. Mm-hmm. Rachel,
I liked it.
you loved it.
So
Michael
good.
Reddish will be very happy to know that his recipe panned out.
Well
and
done,
Ibu
Michael.
made it today.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Mixologist, resident, what's a sous
She's the
mixologist?
assistant. the
I like
sous.
sous mixologist.
Sous
That's
chef.
fun.
She's a sous chef for
Sous
sure.
chef.
Crushes
Yes,
it.
Over
chef.
there.
So check out
chef.
the recipe in the show notes. Give it a try this weekend. You won't be disappointed.
That's right. All right, it's closing time, George. So if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a review. We read them, we appreciate them,
Yeah.
and it helps get the episode out in front of more people. And we will say it over and over again, George. We want America to be in control of their money. So this is their gateway.
And have fun with it.
It's like their gateway drug into knowing and understanding money and having fun with money. This podcast. So
And if you didn't enjoy it, keep that to yourself. No
yeah,
need
we
to
don't
share
need
that with others.
And
Just
all
move
you
on with your
people
life.
that like hate women that are going to take part of your money, like we don't. You can stop that too.
Wait till the comments on this episode on YouTube, Rachel. I will prove my point.
I know. I don't. Yeah.
And don't forget to check out my book, Breaking Free from Broke, now available at RamseySolutions.com.
That's right, George. And join us next Thursday on an all new episode of Smart Money Happy Hour.